I'm wearing a Neil Justin shirt and you can't even tell because it's on the back. Yeah. I have 2 of these Neil Justin shirts and this is the 3rd time that I've worn it this week. Hi everyone, it's Emma. And today I'm going to do my March TBR. I didn't make a TBR for February, and it actually turned out being great because I've been reading less than I normally do the past few months, so I thought I would try out and not make a TBR. I read a lot of the books that I wanted to, which is funny because I didn't have a set TBR, and yet I feel like I got through more books that were on my long-term TBR. But this month I do have a couple books that I want to read. So this isn't really a March TBR. It's kind of like a beginning of March TBR so that you guys know what I'm reading, because I do like the fact that TBRs kind of keep you guys updated on what I'm reading month to month in case you don't follow me on social media or whatever. I've only got 5 books on this TBR. The first book that I'm planning to read is Sense and Sensibilities. No, not Sense and Sensibilities. Why do I always say that? Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This is the only of Austen's novels that I haven't read yet. I'm pretty sure I've read all of the other ones, except maybe Lady Susan. I started this a long time ago, like when I was 13 or something, and I just didn't get into it. I guess it was the wrong time, but I really want to read it now. Like, I've seen the movies 1,000 times, so obviously I know the story, and I found this edition, which is the same as my Jane Eyre edition. It's the Penguin Classics Deluxe edition. And they're slowly starting to carry all of these in my local bookstore, and I'm just in love with them all. So I saw this in my local bookstore and I was having a bad day, so I thought I would buy myself a cheer up. Sense and Sensibility, if you haven't seen the movie or haven't read the book, it's about this family, specifically 2 sisters. Their father dies right in the beginning of the novel, but since it is the time period that it is, girls don't inherit any of the land or anything. These girls, who were previously very wealthy, are now left with next to nothing. The younger one, Marianne, is very passionate and thinks that love is all about how it feels and the excitement of it. And the older one, she's more sensible and she doesn't put her heart first. And so it's kind of about these 2 young women and them falling in and out of love and how they kind of are opposite to each other, but they kind of teach each other the good of how they are naturally and like balance each other out. It's a lot about family, and I can't wait to read the actual book because I already love the story. Then I want to read Linger by Maggie Stiefvater. I read Shiver in February and I loved it. I did a full book review for it. If you want to check that out, I'll put it down below. Obviously, I love Maggie Stiefvater. She's like one of my favorite writers ever. I had never read this series before, so I'm slowly making my way through this. I wasn't planning to read the whole thing, and I loved the first book so much that I couldn't wait to get to the other ones. This is the 2nd book in the Wolves of Mercy Falls series. It's a trilogy, but then I think there's another book that she like added on, so I don't know what it's considered now. It's about this town where there's a pack of werewolves living there, but they're not really werewolves in the way you think about it. In the summer, they live as humans, and in the winter, they live as wolves, not like human hybrid. And they change when the temperature drops. The main character, Grace, was bitten, like attacked by these werewolves when she was a kid. So she should have changed, but she never did. But she's always had this draw towards the wolves, and this one in particular who saved her. It's a love story, and it's very atmospheric, like all of Maggie's books are, and I can't wait to get to all the rest of the books. Like I said, if you want to know more about the series, you can go check out my spoiler-free review that I did for the first book. The next book is, wow, I forgot the name as soon as I held it up. Between Shades of Grey by Ruta Sepetys. I read Salt to the Sea last fall, I think, and I absolutely loved it. I just kind of fell in love with Ruta Sepetys' writing style. It's about this girl, Lena, who lives in Lithuania. It's around the time of World War II, and one day the Soviet secret police knock on her door and take her and her mother and her brother away. It's a story of her passing information or trying to communicate with her father, who is in a prison camp, and she passes the notes in the forms of drawings. I've been a little bit tired of fantasy recently, and this one's historical fiction, so I feel like it's the right time for me to read it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to love it because I really like her writing style and the way that Ruta Sepetys writes about historical events that get kind of forgotten. I'm really interested in this one, and the cover is so gorgeous. The next book is a poetry book, and it is Stuff I've Been Feeling Lately by Alicia Cook. I've seen a lot about this book going around BookTube and Bookstagram and in the book community, and it looks so interesting. It looks like something I will really enjoy, and I'm holding it upside down. It's a poetry book, but at the end of each poem is a song a currently listening to song, and there are like all kinds of different songs. Like this one's 21 Pilots. There's Eminem. I know I saw Leah Michelle in here. There's also blackout poetry, which is really interesting because I've only ever seen blackout poetry done in a book. But I love the cover. I love that it's a mixtape. I love music. I love poetry, so it's like the perfect combination. And then the last thing that's on my TBR is a manga, and it's Bakuman Volume 1. I bought this in New York City last time I vlogged when I went to Kinokuniya, and then haven't read it yet, but my brother saw that I bought it and he got it and he read it and he loved it. So now I'm really excited to read it. It is a manga about a manga writer. I like the art style a lot. I love the cover. It's a little bit longer than the other manga volumes that I've read, and I like that. I like that's a little longer. So I've heard great things, not just from my brother, but like all around. Those are the 5 books that are on my TBR for March. Like I said, this is just my early March TBR, and then I'll read some other stuff. I think I'm going to make a video of books that I want to read in the spring, because those tend to help me schedule out goals as far as reading goes. I'm going to try and read a bunch of the books that I own and haven't read yet before I buy new books, other than like new releases coming out. Let me know down in the comments what you're planning to read in the month of March, if you've read any of these, and if you liked them or if you didn't like them. Let me know. I would love to talk it out with you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button. I miss Emma Reads a lot on all of my social media, which I will link down in the description box. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon with a new video.